Howdy folks, welcome to UMT TV, that's University Mall Theaters Television. We missed y'all so much we decided to make some movies about what we've been doing to keep busy around here. So you might be asking, what are all these holes in our auditorium floors? And why are there so many of them? We'll explain all that in just a minute. First, we had to apply an industrial strength degreaser to get all the butter off the floors. Then I asked my friend Megan to mop it up. After mopping just a couple aisles, she found the water was too dirty to continue. So she had to roll the mop bucket down the hallway, up the elevator, past the concession counter, and the office, and all the way back to the mop room, where she wrung out the mop, emptied out all that dirty water, filled it back up with clean water, making sure to put the hose away properly. Then she grabbed the mop bucket and rolled it all the way back to the elevator. What a trooper! Taking the elevator is so much easier than trying to get that mop bucket down the stairs. Now I don't know if you've ever tried, but rolling a giant mop bucket full of water is much more difficult than it looks. She started mopping again, and you guessed it, after just a couple aisles, the water needed changing again. So she took it back to the mop room. This went on for hours, but Megan didn't stop. She just kept on going until that entire auditorium was clean. Meanwhile, I carried in our brand new TV. One of our TVs out front had gone bad, so I replaced it with one from Tickets, which now needed replacing itself. I unpacked the new TV, took the mounting brackets off the old one, and put them on the new TV. I grabbed it and took it into the next room, where it would become the new Movie Showtime's TV for Tickets. I carried it up the ladder. I had some trouble, so I called for help. Kyle came running, and together we were able to get it done. We peeled off the protective film. Now, we can't afford the expensive signage systems that the big theaters have, so every week when we get a new movie, I download images from that movie on my computer so that I can custom craft our signage. The only problem is the images are never the right size rectangle. So I take the image that I downloaded off the internet, find a part of the background that I can isolate and elongate, like this nice cinder block wall in the background. Then I stretch it out to the length I need. Then I reintroduce the title from the original image, add in an image of the characters, add the movie's rating and other information. Then I crop it all to the right size rectangle, add in the name of the main star to make it look professional. Then I drag the whole thing over to our Showtime sign. Then it's just a matter of changing its size and putting it into the right place so that it looks like a real movie theater Showtime sign. Et voila! Now back to those pesky holes in the floor. Where did they come from? How did they get here? It's a long and complicated story, but I'll try and make it quick. About 7 years ago, the owners of the mall decided it needed a facelift. When I first started working here 25 years ago, the whole mall was made out of brick and had a really cute wooden shingle roof. Then a whole bunch of construction guys came along and started tearing down all brick and the adorable wooden shingle roof. It didn't take them long to get huge sections of it down. Then they brought in this enormous crane and started taking down the roof next to the theater. We got curious, so we looked to see what they were banging on. The stairs next to the theater were made out of solid concrete. Let me tell you, those things were made to last. and a little tougher than the construction guys had expected. But they brought in some heavy equipment and crushed it into rubble. Then they cleared it out to make our new party room. Shortly thereafter, we spotted some samples of the new mall. They began installing our new facade. It went up everywhere in the whole mall. Once they added the facade, they started to paint it. For a couple of years, there was scaffolding everywhere. Our rent went way up, and we had to buy new seats, but we'd already spent all our money on digital projectors. So I made a Kickstarter campaign. Thousands of our customers contributed over $130,000 to help us. It was a huge success, but we still needed to get rid of those ugly, uncomfortable old green seats. So a whole bunch of us came in the middle of the night. Our fearless leader Mark showed us how to use power tools to take apart the old chairs, and we worked together through the night, loading up the old chairs and carrying them outside. A whole bunch of theater employees worked side by side with Mark's kids and Mark's cousins and the professional seat installation guys to make it happen. It started looking surreal in there. It was going pretty good until Mike D walked up to the front of the theater and stepped right on a nail. It went through his shoe, through his sock, and into his foot. But he kept on going. What a champion! Even though after that he was walking a little bit funny. But hey, can you blame him? By the end of the night, we all started getting pretty tired. We were determined to keep on going till we finished the auditorium though. Finally, we had the last corner of the auditorium cleared out. We went to bed exhausted that night, then came back early the next morning to find a huge truck waiting for us. It was full of the pieces for over 500 movie theater seats. We started unloading them immediately. Because the boxes were full of metal movie theater seats, they were extremely heavy. But we kept on going all day long, unloading box after box. By the middle of the day, we were exhausted, but we knew we had to get that truck unloaded. So we kept on going. As the sun was starting to set, we finally got it done. That truck was absolutely huge. There were boxes everywhere around our new front doors and all the way down the hallway. They almost covered the doors that used to lead to the outside. It looked like something out of Citizen Kane. It even extended all the way down to the party room, filling the party room with boxes. And that's where those stairs used to be. We went home exhausted that night. But while we slept, the professional chair installation guys came in and worked through the night. By the next morning, they had installed a whole bunch of chairs. Night after night, as we slept, they came in and worked all night long until all the auditoriums were done. Now, movie theater seats are actually bolted to the concrete. The new seats were spaced differently than the old seats, leaving behind holes in the concrete where they had been bolted. I ran out of cement, so I ran to the store and got some more. Then I kept on patching the holes until they were all done. I'm talking every single one.